All right, so the Dallas Cowboys made some headlines. They made a pretty decent sized move here. The Cowboys signed former Minnesota Viking linebacker Anthony Barr. This is according to Jack Brown over at thescore.com. The Cowboys signed former Minnesota Viking Anthony Barr to a 1 year contract, the team announced on Wednesday. Dallas didn't disclose the deal's financial terms, but Barr received a base salary of $2 million dollars and an additional $1 million in incentives. Barr spent the first 8 seasons of his career with the Vikings after they drafted him ninth overall in 2014. He was a key cog in Minnesota's consistently strong defenses over that time, earning 4 straight Pro Bowl appearances from 2015 through 2018. Barr will reunite with former Vikings defensive coordinator George Edwards, who's now a defensive assistant in Dallas. All right, Maya. So obviously Dallas at the linebacking position is kind of led by Micah Parsons with his pass rushing ability, number one, but he can do a lot of things really well. But there are some question marks at some other areas at that group. Leighton Vander Esch has some injuries going into a 1 year kind of prove it situation. Jabril Cox coming off an injury shortened rookie year as well. What do you think of the signing here by Dallas getting Anthony Barr?
I like the signing a lot, Nick. Mainly one reason for me is Dallas always gets some really nice players at the middle linebacker position, especially you think of guys like Sean Lee, you think Leighton Vander Esch, but those guys typically, for some reason, have some injury concerns. Anthony Barr is a guy who's been relatively healthy in his career, and he's been a very big contributor on that Vikings defense, as you say. And the key here, though, is you said it. Micah Parsons is obviously the leader of that linebacking core. And one thing you don't want to do is pigeonhole Micah Parsons in any way, shape, or form. And having a versatile player like Barr, who kind of has a nose for the football, he's got a couple interceptions last year, he had a pretty good pass rushing grade, got a couple sacks. It allows Parsons to be freed up to do whatever you want because you can send Barr out to do whatever you want and not really have to worry about him. And so Parsons can kind of just like freewheel and do whatever he thinks is best because he's a superstar athlete who also has a nose for the ball, don't you think?
Yeah, and Cowboys defensive corner Dan Quinn actually talked and AP reported earlier this week that he's really hoping to unleash Micah Parsons even more this season. And the way you do it, and you brought up a really great point, is protecting Micah Parsons from just being pigeonholed into a certain linebacker situation. You don't want a guy like Parsons. He's not a Bobby Wagner. He's not a Fred Warner like the 49ers, where he's going to line up at middle linebacker. He's going to do the standard drops, standard run protection, or run defense, things like that. Now, he can do that. He's shown he can. But his true playmaking ability is in the pass rush game from everywhere. The guy can double A gap blitz, coming off either edge like he's a defensive end, blitzing from a traditional linebacker position. But the only way he can do that is if the Cowboys have a linebacker playing next to him who is capable of handling the more traditional linebacker roles like dropping into coverage and traditional run defense. If the Cowboys have injuries or just poor performance at linebacker, whether it's Leighton Vander Esch or Jabril Cox, that really will constrain a guy like Micah Parsons. To use like a basketball analogy, if you've got a star shooter, an elite playmaker, you don't want him having to be point guard and waste all his time just taking the ball up the court and running the offense. You want him to do what he does best, shooting the ball and scoring a lot of baskets. That's exactly what Micah Parsons is. He's a playmaker. He's a defensive scorer, so to speak. So you need a guy to facilitate him and kind of brunt and bear the load of kind of the more mundane tasks of the linebacker position. That's why I really like Anthony Barr, because he played when the Minnesota Vikings in some really good team defenses. And I think you got some notes, but the guy was a playmaker, and he did it from more traditional linebacker roles. He wasn't a, run stuffing only guy. He wasn't only a speedy, fast guy. He did everything really well, and I think that's going to be a pivotal part of his role in Dallas.
Yeah, if you look at his PFF from last year, and then I'm going to jump back a couple years, because we're going to talk about Anthony Barr now and then Anthony Barr in his prime. And maybe this, revitalization in Dallas will bring back prime Anthony Barr. But last year, Barr had a pretty good pass rush grade, a 72, which is solid. He had a good coverage grade, decent for a linebacker of 63, which means he's not a liability, so to speak. He's not a lockdown corner, but he's not a liability in coverage, which what he said is going to free Parsons up to do a lot of stuff. Obviously, he had 23 stops, 3 sacks, 3 interceptions, which is pretty nice. If you have a linebacker who can lurk over the middle and grab some balls, that's always really nice. But let's drop back to prime Anthony Barr. We're looking like the 2017-ish years, and that is where he was really great. 2017, 2018, and there's a little bit of drop off after that. But he had an 85 pass rushing grade. in 2017, and he almost a 70 coverage grade. He even had almost a 70 run defense grade. He was just really good at all aspects of the game. He obviously shined in the pass rush game. He got a really good pressure that year. But that's where I see if Barr maybe gets a career renaissance over in Dallas, he's able to do just about anything. And like we said, it's key that he is not a liability at any certain position. All right, Nick, it's time to get your internet privacy back today on every device you own in any country you want. Don't let anyone but you control your internet. NordVPN keeps you safe from prying eyes wherever you go online with their military-grade encryption. Is your favorite Netflix or streaming content blocked in the US? You can simply connect to one of the many countries available with NordVPN and get the access you need.
That's right, Maya. So right now, get our exclusive NordVPN deal here at nordvpn.com/SMI. It's risk-free now with NordVPN's 30-day money-back guarantee. Again, get that exclusive deal, nordvpn.com/SMI.